So Adrienne, would you like to introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, thanks Kellen. I'm Adrienne Rodgers from the Local Enterprise Office in Cork City, and we provide a range of supports for the micro enterprise sector in Cork City. We have financial supports, and we also have what we term soft supports, which is training and mentoring that we put in with businesses that might need help in a particular area. We also run a number of programs around driving awareness and entrepreneurship throughout the area, and that could be anything from a schools program that we run for second level students up to third level courses and programs that we deliver, and then obviously for the businesses themselves, things like networking events, etc.
What supports are there for young people with good ideas?
Well, there's a couple of things that we do in the local enterprise offices, and around the country the local enterprise offices deliver a schools program which is aimed at second level students, generally transition year, but some of the local enterprise offices around the country deal with students from first year up to fifth year. Generally sixth year won't be involved because they're doing leaving cert, so they're focusing on other things. So the schools program is really, it's like developing a mini company. So you have to come up with an idea, you build a team, you develop your product or your service, and then you get an opportunity to present it at a trade fair. So we do a trade fair in Blackpool Shopping Centre in the city, and we could have anything up to 40 stands in Blackpool Shopping Centre, and they're all getting an opportunity really to sell their product or their service to the public. And then we present awards to them, and the winners of the regional awards go on to a national event which is called the Student Enterprise Awards, and we could have anything up to 400 students participating in that programme, and generally it's a huge event. We hold it in Crow Park, and we fill the space very admirably, I think, for that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we offer. We've recently run an IBYE, which is Irish Business Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. We're currently finalising that now. That's generally aimed at people between 18 to 30 years of age.
What are the most important qualities or skills involved in being an entrepreneur?
It's a big question. Because if you look at some people who are entrepreneurs, you kind of say to yourself, what is it really that made them so successful? I think one of the things that's definitely important if you want to be an entrepreneur is you must be driven and you must be passionate about what you're doing. Without that, it would be very difficult to bring a project over the line. You also have to have a huge belief in what you're doing, that it is the right thing to be doing, and you need conviction to convince others as well that this is something that has a property or a marketable value. So other things that we generally look for is obviously skill sets are important, but I suppose being an entrepreneur doesn't necessarily mean you have to be brilliant at finance or brilliant at marketing or brilliant at anything else. I think the conviction is very important, but it's always good to have a skill set such as accounting or finance. It can be particularly useful in business. If you don't have that skill set, however, and you do have a really good idea and you want to develop it, entrepreneurs generally can find the right people to help them. So entrepreneurs are good at identifying key individuals to help them get to where they want.
Where and how do you get funding for your idea?
Okay, so yeah, you can be very creative about getting funding for your idea on the basis that there's an awful lot of supports available out there. Generally, I would say to people, look at what stage of business you're at, and then try to identify the appropriate funding that's relevant for your business. But we help people do that. So in the local enterprise offices, I will be aware of all the incentives, all the government incentives that are out there, and even some private schemes as well that are available for people. So there'd be very few businesses starting in Ireland today that wouldn't be able to avail of some type of funding support.
And now it's time for the quirky question. What's the funniest and most interesting entrepreneurial idea that's crossed your desk?
Okay. I'll give you two examples because one is a deck chair that revolves with the sun. So somebody could sit in the deck chair at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the deck chair would just follow the sun around until 6 or 7 that evening. So I think while it might have been an idea, I'm not sure it was a good idea, but it was certainly quirky. And another one, we were approached by an individual who wanted to set up a satellite coming off Garnish Island in West Cork, so that we could, I don't know, tap into NASA or something like that. So I suppose that was a guy with a vision. I'm just not sure how realistic it was.
I think that's also illegal.
I think you're right.
So thanks, Adrienne.
No problem. And thank you for having me.
Yeah.